everybody. Today I am going to do another day of Neetcode. It's been a few days since I last did this, so forgive me for my inconsistency. It's been kind of busy, so I figured might as well jump in. And the next one that we're doing is in our Neetcode blind 75 called group anagrams. So if I go back to here in our arrays and hashing, it is the next one after toSum. So I kind of started already by thinking about how we would want to store these. So I'll read over the problem first. So we are given an array of strings called strs, and we need to group all the anagrams together into sublists. And then it says we can return the output in any order. An anagram is a string that contains the exact same characters as another string, but the order of the strings can be different. So we're basically just checking if these contain the same letters. So what I'm thinking is we could have a map to store the pair of strings themselves. I'm trying to think. So I do use this Neetcode hints because it actually is really nice because it doesn't just give me the answer, it kind of nudges me, which is great. So it says your current map uses an int as a key, but what about an anagram? What an anagram group shares in common? What fingerprint or signature could you generate from a string like eat? So I'm assuming this wants me to store two strings then, because actually we might have like a char for I'll just go with string and see what it says. And this video might be a little longer since this one's a medium, but we'll see how it goes. I'm just gonna kind of keep nudging it because this is one that I'm not entirely sure on how to solve yet. Would only allow you to store one word. So what data structure could you use as the value? I'm trying to think. We could probably do... let's see. A vector of strings? Yeah, let's try that. This is probably wrong, but we'll see. That's my intuition, is we want to store... you're using it as the key and a string as the value. We want to group multiple strings together based on a shared property, the anagram key. For two words to be anagrams, they must be identical. Once their identical characters are reordered, what if you use a sorted version of each string? So maybe a set? Let's see. This is kind of tricky because the core idea is to find a signature or key. Yeah, I understand that. I'm just kind of confused. Oh. Oops. I have the vector still. We don't want a vector of sets. That's weird. Let's try that. I see you're starting with an unordered map, which is a great choice. However, using unordered set as a key might be tricky because it doesn't account for the frequency of the letters. So we need a key that is identical for all anagrams. So wouldn't that just be the length? So couldn't that just be... I don't think this is right, but I mean, that's my guess. I see you're using length as your map key. While anagrams must have the same length, not all strings of the same length are anagrams. Is there a way to transform each string so that all anagrams result in the exact same signature? Let's see, since anagrams contain the same characters, if you sort the characters of an anagram, they will all look identical. For example, sorting both eat and t will result in... This could be a very reliable key. So stood sort, and then dot begin stood dot end. Maybe that's what it's saying. Using but you're in C++, the map definition needs concrete types like string for the key and vector of string for the value, rather than a function call. Okay. So, and then we do a vector of string. Oh wait, there we go. Okay, so yeah, we're storing the string, and then the pair is the value. The main challenge is what unique key can all anagrams share so they land in the same bucket. I'm gonna say we would want to do something to where we want to say like, so for int I is less than, I'm trying to think. We want to go through every letter in the alphabet to sort it. So maybe we'd do something like for every string. I don't think you can iterate or iterate a string. Let's just do a simple for loop. And then we can go from there. This is going to be a long video, so it'll just go up on my channel, but let's see. I think it already... Okay. To group anagrams together, you need to transform each string into a key that will be identical for all words. Think about what anagrams have in common. If you have eat, tea, and ate, how can you make them look exactly the same? Sorting the characters within each individual string is a common way to create a unique signature for that group. So then we would want to do string, or we'd want to do sort, and then we would do I dot, well, strings of I dot begin, and, well, I'm trying to think. Strings dot begin, strings dot end, and then we would, I don't think this would happen inside the for loop, but I'm just thinking. We'd want to sort it and then store that into, so that would be map dot I'm trying to think. Map dot insert. Let's look this up. So C++ map or map. Yeah, we have insert. So we could do map.insert, I think. Let's see what this thinks. Inside your loop, you're trying to use sort. Instead of sorting the whole strs vector, try creating a temporary string copy of the current word. Okay. So then that would be word is equal to strs, or yeah, stood string word is equal to strs of I, and then we would just do word dot begin word dot end, and then we would insert the word, I believe. Stood vector uses dot size to get its length. Gotcha. Also remember that your map stores a vector of string as the value. Instead of using dot insert, which is used for adding pairs or sets, try using the subscript I think it's subscript operator or pushback. Map that pushback, and then the word. Okay. Check your loop syntax. Map.pushback word won't work because unordered map doesn't have a pushback method. Instead, you need to use the sorted string to find the correct list in the map. So we would return the word, and then we'd probably want to do something to check. Instead of return word, you want to add the original string, strs of I, into the list associated with the sorted key. Oh, okay. Map dot. Okay, let me just look this up. C++, how to add insert. Oh gosh. Oops. C++ how to add or insert a key into a map. Map.insert the key and the value. So we could do word. I guess we could do the well, the string itself, so it would be I. No. Yeah, it would be the word and then yeah, I'm stuck for a sec. Instead of using map.insert, try using the subscript operator, for example, map key. So the key would be word dot push back, and then the original word. Stirs of I, maybe? That's obviously, I think that's wrong, but I'm getting on the right track. Once you've filled your unordered map, think about what the map actually looks like. Every key is a sorted string, and every value is a vector of strings containing the original words. Your goal is to return a vector of vector containing just those values. To finish the function, you need to iterate through your unordered map in C++. You can use a range-based for loop to access each pair. So we could do for every string word in map. In C++, you can from each pair, you only care about the second element, which is the group of anagrams. Add semicolons after stirs of I, and push back dot two. Create a vector of vector strings called result. Use for auto pair map. Okay. Create a vector. For auto, okay. Oh yeah, auto just for auto pair and map. Then we would do result dot push back pair dot second. And then that would and after that we'd return the result. Ah, gotcha. Alright, let's see if Claude can help me here. did I do wrong? Sorry for the long video today, guys. Okay. Is missing the inner type. Oh, okay. So a vector of strings. And then this should just be paired.second. Okay, we got it. That definitely took a lot longer than I hoped for, so I'm gonna actually come back tomorrow on my own and redo this from scratch to see if I can do a different way. But essentially, let's go through this again. So we have an unordered map that holds the string, which is a word, and then our vector holds the group words in a map, and then we have a vector of vectors of strings which holds the result or the pair, and then we want to iterate through our strings, and then we would set a new string called word equal to each individual word at the index, and then we would sort those, and then we would essentially push back our word, and then after that is inserted, we would then iterate through our map, and we would push back our pair and then return the result. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I apologize for such a long video today. I will try and make the next one shorter and not as crazy. Not a terrible solution. I think our other solutions are not too bad. Let's look at what the other solution typically is. So this would be a hash table. Gotcha. Okay, so this one uses an alphanumeric way of like counting from every letter in the alphabet, which is awesome. I actually don't mind the way we did it, but this is also the sorting way, so yeah, pretty much the same as what we did here. So yeah, thank you guys again. Have a wonderful day, and I will catch you the next video.